Oh, the mic is still on. Shoot, never knew the mic was still on. Well, it looks like I'm exactly on time. And to the only person that's actually watching the stream, thank you for joining. We're going to get right into it. I actually at first need to um, I need to pull this up on YouTube and Rumble. I kind of do this to monitor, so I'll do that. And actually, I have to Restream likes to advertise through the description, at least on YouTube. I haven't been able to do it on Rumble yet, I guess. And so I gotta switch those around, and then I can open it up. And there I am. And then I can refresh Rumble. Or should I say Mean Green? And there we are. And let me check my chat. Let's go back to the main deal here. Let me check the chat. Welcome everyone. That seems to work pretty good. I'm not going to worry about going. I already posted in Discord and X and IRC, and I said I was going to be, 15 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever. So I'm just going to let people come in, and I'm going to let them be a little late for once instead of me being late. I'm actually on time. Believe it or not, I am on time. How about that? Is that amazing or what? Okay. So the first thing I am going to do is okay, so what we were doing is we were working on quote unquote chapter one, and I had just figured out a way. Here, let's pull it up. Let's go to favorites. Let's pull up Redot, and we're gonna this one, and then I'm gonna also open up Redot again, and I'm gonna pick older. See, it's up here. The first one is it says slash Enchanted Lands. It's my main project. Older projects are the older projects, and so this is before I had like reduced it to 20 beats. This is one that's the multi-million beats. It's not multi-million, obviously, but you look here. I mean, I wonder how many of these there are. Uh, Actually, let's do something here real quick. I am just curious here where I was at. Random Villages 2. 009 Random Villages 2. Okay. We'll go ahead and open that in the new tab. Open another one in the new tab. Same place, so I can go to different deals. Oh, no, I should go back to here. I'll go in this one. I'll go back to Redot projects, older projects. Enchanted phase one. It's gonna be this one, I think. Yeah, November, right? 11th of November. Yeah. I always have to like think about what how my things goes. Usually, what it is the highest number is usually the latest version. I could just had to remember that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to rooms, and now we have 009 Random Villages 2, right? And so I'm just gonna see how many of these I have left here, right? Why is that 185? Oh, that is not going to count, is it? Oh, shoot. Wait a second. Wait. Sky 14. Oh, that means I have to actually count them if I want to count them. It doesn't tell you anywhere here how many items are selected, right? Oh, 9 selected. Oh, good, good, good. So I can do that. I can actually do that through here, not through the. So how many nodes are selected? 77. See, so I was still right on. I was 80. As a so I'm about 20% in, believe it or not. In size, this looks like to be about half of it, right? And technically, the amount is about half of it. In other words, there's about 70 to 80 different nodes here. Um, actually, that's a good thing to actually. Let's see something. Actually, let's do something here. Let's do this. 184 selected. So 184 nodes represents 20%. That's about where I was, right? And it's not like it's not going to be this big in the end anyways. The idea is I start small, like I said. Maybe I have only a max of 100 total, including everything, um, depending, and and that's fine. Later on, in the next phase, I'll add more in. I'll actually kind of break those up a little bit and add more into it to make it a little bit more interesting, and then I'll keep on adding and adding. Anyways, um, okay, so this is okay. So this is the current thing here. Why are they all run together? It shouldn't be that run together. Uh-oh. What's uh something to do something weird thing with the positioning. That's what. There's nothing wrong here. Right? Okay. Okay, make sure I save the deal so it doesn't squawk, and then save room data. What is going on here? What in the actual reload save scene? What? What's going on here? Doherty Hebert goes for help. Doherty Hebert goes for help. Okay, that's fine because they're the same. They're this. Oh, I see. It's having a problem because the name is actually the same name. Um, let's see something. Um, why? Okay, something not right. Let's see if let me go to the actual, not the not that one. Let's go to this. Let's go to the regular rooms here. Twin brothers, Hubert goes to school. Okay, that's fine. So what we're having is we're having a little problem because they're essentially the same name and it doesn't know what to do. So it's going to name it something different because it already has a node called, you know, Hubert goes for help, right? So it's not differentiating here. Um, let's see something here. Let me think. Uh, so you only got 3 people in here, which is kind of weird. But it's not that many. Oh well, it was whatever, right? Weekday. This stuff is boring. I can't make it any more exciting because it is what it is, right? Okay. It'll be more exciting later, like way later on when I actually start adding, when I start really getting into the game, with the parser and then with the graphics and so on and so forth. So I guess let's just say I'm um GDevelop 5.6 3D support, full 3D editor. Yeah, they decided to go full 3D on GDevelop too. Anyways, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit different in the. I'm gonna have to mess with the code a little bit. Script. In fact, it didn't even save it properly. Why? Because it's still having a problem with the names here, and so it doesn't know where to put what and how to put what where. Okay, so we had um, and that's kind of interesting too. I think. Now, if I make the names of each of the pages differently, um, um, let me look at the names. I'm gonna have to figure this out. The file names again. Just having A and Z and having the same name is probably not a good deal. Um, 1A. I wonder if I should put numbers after the underline instead of letters. Um, I wonder if there would be a problem. Hmm. I was using ChatGPT. I wonder if there's a problem just putting a period in any old place. I mean, I know we got the extension thing, but the way things are now, it might have been an issue with like DOS, MS-DOS back in the day, but period shouldn't be that much of an issue these days. Let's go ahead and new window here, and I guess I'll go to ChatGPT because that's what I've been working with lately. Normally I do Claude um, for um, for the programming stuff, but um, okay. So have another file name problem. Uh, I was going to just give each file the same chapter name differentiated by the um, differentiated by the letter designation, like heading A or whatever. But redot editor is having a problem because there are 2 names that are missing after I stripped off the initial prefix, so it doesn't know to do it. The obvious solution is to name them each different. But if I'm going with the chapter analogy, then I'm either going to use page, or maybe I could do that's interesting too. Uh, or something. It also means that I might be do you have any suggestions? I mean, programmatically, I can do a number of things. Only strip off the chapter digits or whatever. So that's not exactly an issue. Let's see. How do books usually handle headings? Or maybe it doesn't matter. It's just chapter 1 all the way through. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Never give subsection the same title, even if they're part of chapter 1. Each section follows the hood and your arrival of the stranger in the woods. That's your cleanest pattern. Practical options ranked. Give each its own mini title. Still keep the chapter name concept, but each file gets a unique descriptive tale. John opens the portal. Okay. This mirrors how books structure chapters with unique subheadings and avoids editor conflicts. Use page labels if you prefer a mechanical approach. Assertable, non-ambiguous, but less descriptive. Each chapter plus section numbers, book-like structure. He, um, yeah. I, if I just make everything unique, I don't need even a letter designation. Everything will be separate anyway. My let's see. Issue, let's see. So how should I display it on the screen then? Don't have to match. Here's some fun, clean, player-friendly ways to show it on the screen. Chapters plus scene titles like a novel or screenplay. On the Castle Gate. Princess Clue. Behind the scenes, it's unique under the hood, but visually they all belong to Chapter 1. Chapters plus scene numbers. Chapter 1, Scene 1. Here goes for help. I don't know if I put scene in the thing, though. I mean, I wouldn't display scene to somebody. Actually, you know what's interesting? You know what I could do, too? I didn't think about it. Chapters, we're still thinking of the chapters thing. I know I'm thinking of it like a book because it's essentially a book. It's an interactive book right now. It's not going to be in the end for sure. Okay, so this is the way I'm developing it. I could make a separate page for the chapter heading. Um, and then I could put um, hmm, yeah, maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should just do it like that. And if they're, of course, if they're all unique, I don't really have a problem then either. So, um, and then I could always now it's going on like a room by room basis. So, um, when I add, I'll have to see where I add the name there. Hmm. Let's think for a second. I mean, guess it's not really super important. It's kind of important. If I just make sure that all the file names are unique, I don't have a problem there. And then my only other thing is, Hubert goes for help. I don't even have to put chapter on there, right? Because then, and hmm, yeah, maybe option was the best. Option 4. Chapter 1. Almost always nope. They just want the story you want, the organization, simple approach. Unique ID internally, display whatever title you want externally. You don't have to use the ID, the prefix, or anything. Uh, the smoothest, clean, story driven. Um, the only real issue here is that the editor doesn't know what to do with a few nodes the same name. Actually, using the name field in a node. Making the making them all unique on purpose. Hmm. Sort of fixes not a problem. Let me think for a second. Any invisible suffix for the editor be to a I mean, that's sort of what they're doing right now. But it's it's the actual node name that I'm doing. Um, hmm, Storage separately. Let me see how it looks here because I know it's a weird thing. Yeah, I guess I'm not really making that much progress here doing this ways, but that's okay here. Um, I could always set the name directly to the node name. What I have door name. And I could always well, I won't worry about the door name just yet, but we're the actual room name. New room data, create new room.name. And so I was replacing colon with a comma. Chapter 1, comma, here goes for help. Right, because each has a label, right? Label. Label was my display name, right? Um, 001A goes for help. See, the label's the display name. It's what actually gets shown on there. Um, Hold on. Let me think. Let me think. Let me think. Label. Okay. Let me think about something here. Okay. Page one. I could do. Not think about the file names. Think about the label. How the label would look. Okay. Another thing that makes this an issue is I have something. Uh, I have a field I call label, which is essentially its display name. I was using that uh, as also the node name. And actually, the label could be long too. Now, oh, let me see something here. If I go into the editor here, this still has a. So chapter one does have the colon. It doesn't have the comma. I need the comma for the node name. So I guess what I could do. Goes for help. People goes for help. This is weird that thing like dumb thing like this that can kind of hang you up. And maybe uh I should just use the ID, which is the same as the file name without extension, as the actual node name in the editor. Specifically, the layout tool And since I'm doing the tool, when I'm done, I won't even be looking at the theme tree in the editor, but just what I'm presented in the tool. I'm not currently using the label in the actual game text, um, but um, but I've added it as separate text in the description field, so it displays. Later on, I could um, modify the code so that it actually displays the label itself. But I figured this way would be a bit easier, as I don't have to do any special extra coding or anything. But it also means each description needs that heading if I want the player to see it. It definitely knows an exact place where the friction will grow later. Your current approach. Heading baked in description, zero extra code needed, immediate results. Every page is self-contained cons. You must update the description text. If later phases add animation, you want the title separate. This method works for now, but it's for first draft workflow, not wrong, just not future proof. Um, yeah. I also did it that way because the choices are baked into the description as well. Otherwise, I will have to write separate code to display the instructions separately. So I wanted parity with that, at least for now. Okay. Apparently my dad can hear everything in his room, so if he's not sleeping right now, if I talk too loud, he'll be able to hear exactly what I'm saying. Not that I have a problem with him hearing, but that means he can't go to sleep if I'm too loud, so makes sense. Keeping the heading and the choices inside the game description block keeps everything in one payload, so you don't have to build extra UI paths yet. That's a perfectly reasonable way to keep things simple. Phase 2 involves separating the directional choices from the regular in-screen, in-room, or whatever choices, because eventually you'll be able to independently control player characters. And so I'll be separating those for when I need to change the control method. And that, so I might change the UI interface to so that the choices, the navigational choices, are their own separate block. Build the layers just enough to support partial style navigation later. Multi-character control navigation codes will block. Remember maximum remain with the description. Okay, expand. You don't need to change how you're storing anything today just to accommodate your current layout gives you the flexibility to refactor only when you hit the point where the navigation needs custom logic. So yeah, treating navigation. Okay. So now, so what I do is I make sure that the name, the actual node name is the ID, which is actually fairly simple. I don't have to do any parsing then with that. Uh, then your label is still your label, and I can put the label. I can put anything I want for the label. But I still have to keep in mind in the future what I'm going to display. And so it's probably best to keep the label and the actual in-text, in-description label the same for that eventuality. When I won't actually be using the description to do it, I'll actually be using the actual label itself, which is an extra piece of code. And it's not that it's that complex, it's just it adds more to it. With this way, I can just kind of dump everything into the text, and it makes it as quick as possible. So, okay. Let me see something. Do I have the... Here, let's start the replay buffer. You know, I've been kind of neglecting it. That's why I also continue to do the recording. I might just do the recording thing like I always do after, but just I'm doing the replay buffer so that I'll have some actual like B-roll. So when I'm maybe I'll just be taking the audio. This is what I got done today, and then I'll be showing little clips of the replay buffer um video or something. I don't really know how I'm going to do it. I do know that I've got 6 more regular like devlogs to do in the traditional style, which is me putting each of the clips of what I did that day together into a single clip, into a single like deal to show the progress. But eventually, I want to make a real like a real regular devlog. In fact, I think I want to do it like over a month or over, we'll say over 3 weeks, right? Um, like um, so this is actually the first week, right? Um, this is the first week of December. So if I do weeks 1, 2, and 3, now we actually have some extra days. Like we have like half a week uh, at the end of December. Um, of course, we've got Christmas there, so that kind of takes care of that. I can still count it as the week because I won't be working on those days, but you know, I won't be editing or whatever. It's like uh, I will be taking the week of the 21st off instead of like every 2 weeks. It's going to be every 3 weeks, and then the fourth week in the month, or the fifth week, depending on you know what month it um, is where I'll be editing the previous 3 weeks footage. I think is how I'm gonna do it, and it gives me longer time, and I'll have a lot more footage. It will take probably longer, but hopefully I'll be able to get those done in a week, and hopefully the devlog itself will be a little bit more interesting than what I've been doing. So we'll see. Um, okay. So in reality, I just give each page its own heading. Means I don't need the letter subscript. For instance, all of chapter 1 will be prefixed with 001. Then unique section name goes here. Yeah. Magic mailbox misfire. 001. John gets the ticket. Train crash in the Lapswood. Its own snowflake. Zero editor, no name collections. Just use the file ID as the no name purely for display. The label stays separate and clean. Clean chapter grouping. Prefix still groups everything visually and logically. Okay, so let's think in the future when I'm using the label as the part of the UI instead of baked into the description. So this will display on screen. Do I eschew any mention of chapters and just provide the section title? Do I come up with unique chapter names and then unique subheadings? For instance, chapter 1 goes for help. Part 1. Wizard in trouble. I don't know. I guess I don't need anything unique here. I'm just giving it a sample. The perfect candidate or something. Chapter numbers. Chapter numbers are for you. Organization grouping work for players just want a clean title that feels like a scene heading. Perfect candidate. No chapter numbers on screen unless you want them for flavor. If you do want a chapter flavor text later, use a story style version, not the file style version. Part 1, the candidate. Storybook chapter fill. Major transitions. That's actually that's not a bad. That's interesting. When playing Secret of Monkey Island, they had essentially seen titles just before. For instance, the free trials. I don't remember the other ones, but they were cute. Scab Island Tavern. And when I said it's interesting, I meant for this, not for the fact that Monkey Island had scene titles, but I was thinking about possibly having a single page, that did nothing but show the chapter. Essentially, would be a room node. Which only purpose was to display the chapter name. Makes perfect sense. You could absolutely do a dedicated chapter title page, just a normal room node with no choices, description, or its only job is to display something like chapter 1 Hubert goes out. You could have some styling of first, fade in text. Here's what storybooks and classic adventure games do. It separates major story beats from normal gameplay. You can still use your usual JSON node structure. That's not a bad idea. It would have the single hit 1 to continue choice that would lead to the next room. So the file name might be 001 Hubert goes for help. That JSON. The ID would be the same without the extension, the label, and the only thing in the description would be chapter 1, Hubert goes for help, along with bit 1 to continue at the bottom, and door would lead to the file name 001, the perfect candidate, JSON. Its label would be perfect candidate. And the actual text for that first page would be in there. Normal. Leads to ID 001, perfect candidate. Perfect candidate. This way, players see a proper chapter break. You're seeing IDs and file names remain consistent. No need for AB subscripts. Free layout stays happy. Featured UI refactor separating label from description is trivial. Yeah. And if I wanted to add the chapter title, so question, if I decide later I want to add the chapter and its title to the scene title, what gets displayed to the player. What would be the best way to do that? Do I need another field? In my JSON for that separately? So you can combine chapter and label programmatically without touching your description or breaking backwards. Chapter. Okay. That being said, chapter is a word that relates to books, or maybe other things, possibly. But label is just literally what it is. I wanted to use name, but the but redot Godot node names use a so I chose label. But if I'm thinking of chapter and subtitle, should I call it something else like subtitle? Would be a clear term if you're thinking of chapter plus subtitle as a story contract, because it's distinct from label your node's display name and name the internal node. JSON could look like this. Label, chapter, subtitle. No, that wouldn't be right. Subtitle wouldn't be chapters subtitle. It would be the section. So the subtitle or section title is perfect. Perfect, not perfect. Perfect candidate. Label. The node's display name or main identifier can be the same as the section title or just internal. The actual ID label chapter. Candidate. Here it goes for help. I just wanted to know if I should change label to something that fits chapter better. The word label to something that fits. I don't know, I guess maybe this isn't important or whatever. I don't know. Sure, go ahead. We'll see what it says, and then I might make my decision. I might just leave it label and let chapter be in there. Oh, okay, so ID, the perfect candidate, unique identifier, chapter, uh, main story division, optional chapter page, title, the perfect candidate, main scene title displayed to the player, description, Hubert's, okay. Chapter optional grouping can be shown on a chapter title page or just used for organization. Title, what the player sees as the scene heading, can be combined with chapter in the UI or displayed standalone. Description, distinct The title, you could add a subtitle outside the castle gate. Hmm. Yes, title. Title doesn't conflict with anything in GD script or JSON or anything like that, right? Subtitle is perfectly safe. Not a reserved word, so you can safely do my new title, the perfect candidate. I think that's what I should probably do. I'll have to restructure a few things. Like saving out the word title instead of label and reading in that same, but that shouldn't be too hard. Of course, it will be slightly tedious, but I only have 20, 31 pages right now. That shouldn't be hard to modify manually, and then change the code to reflect that. Just use a title. Okay, so I guess that's what I should be doing, I think. Uh, Shoot, it's almost 1, see? And I didn't get nothing done. I was on time today, though, so I was super on time. But that's okay. We're going to get started here. And actually, I'm going to do the thing that I said, too. So first, I probably don't need the... I don't need the letter designations, for one thing. So I can go back to that. In fact, I can actually still use the dash. I don't have to use an underline either. And it and the code already makes room for the prefix. I had the old one still there. So in other words, these ones up here are unchanged. They don't have a letter or anything or a dash. So it's actually using the first 4 characters. And then if I switch these back, then it'll do the same thing. It shouldn't be much of a problem. I do have, however, have to make sure that each thing is unique. And so I'll have to manually make sure it's unique. And then the other thing is Yeah, I'll have to even make a third. Okay, so let's just do a block rename. How do I do rename? I forget now. Rename. Okay. Find. Um, Dash. Replace with just a dash. Okay. And let's just do a rename. How about that? Now this one I will just rename by itself. Do that. Only I can't do this. Um, Here it goes for help. Here it goes for help. What was the second thing? It could be a little snarky. Be a little. Won't be a real innuendo though, because it's not exactly the same saying. You know, like a bump and a tumble, and your mind is going, "Well, that's a dirty euphemism or something," when really it's not even the right deal. I don't know. I probably won't use that just because I want, I'm keeping this family friendly, so I won't do it like that. So let me think for a second. John gets in the Enchanted Lands, right? So the perfect candidate. Uh, the silver ticket. I'll call it the silver ticket. We'll just do this right now. The silver ticket. That. Okay. And we're gonna go ahead and do a copy of this, and we're gonna paste it, and we're gonna rename this one the perfect candidate. The perfect candidate. The perfect candidate. Now, and actually, let's just go ahead and the script should work just fine. Uh, Let me think for a second. Here it goes for help. Oh, script. Now where did I? Oh, it says find a hyphen, and then so this code would still work, right? This old code would work, but I don't need to. So let's rename that. We'll rename this with a dash. I almost could just leave off the dash or whatever, but this still looks cleaner here. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is this is going to be correct. Here it goes for help. Okay. Oh, I'm also going to have to rename all the other, yeah. I'm going to have to go into the metadata here. So let's go up to projects. Let's go into layout tool data. And we are going to rename these. Yeah, and what did I call this? I call this the silver ticket, right? Rename. The silver ticket. Okay, and then we're going to copy this. Copy, paste. And rename that the perfect candidate. Maybe we should put a perfect candidate. A perfect candidate. That. Okay, and then let's go ahead and rename this as Hubert goes for help. Okay, 001. Okay, this will. Oh, shoot. Uh, the reason I'm looking at this is because now it puts them out of order, the names out of order. Um, shoot. I only have 10 minutes left. Maybe that doesn't matter. I mean, it should matter, but maybe it doesn't just because these aren't going to be like in an alphabetical order anyways, right? Because I'm going to have like different choices, and they're going to have different names, and you might have one at this level, one at this level, and so what do you do? Which one's A and which one's B? I mean, you could say it's left to right or whatever. So maybe I just won't worry about that. Okay, so I won't worry about that as far as that goes. But what I will do here is I'm going to rename this to A. A perfect candidate. Okay. And so we are going to go ahead and I could do a small little prefix though, and that is chapter versus title, right? I could do it that ways. I do it that ways. Um, So underscore T underscore C, and even that will actually put all the titles underneath the chapters. Um, no, I guess it's not gonna matter that much, is it? It might matter if I want to look at it at a glance, right? Because the chapter order might matter. I did come up with a small issue. That is, when sorting by name, something was name it does so automatically. So if I name the chapter Bert goes for help, but the um, actual first page or title is a per candidate, then A comes before H, and it shows it out of order. However, order doesn't really matter when it comes to the titles, because they're going to be in various positions. But the chapters will be in order. So I might need to do something like 001 C Hubert goes for help, and then something like 01 P a perfect candidate. So each of the titles, so each of the chapters gives me an idea of the order. It will put all chapters pages together and the other title pages together. So common issue and file names sort alphabetically. if they start with numbers but have that little suffix or the have that little suffix for chapter versus title, does it still group them by the numbers, or would it group all the chapter ones? It would do it by numbers, and then that means that C is first and the T ones are after. It'll still first sort by number, then alphabetically by the characters. Page. Okay, that seems best, I think. And nicely, it keeps chapters and pages groups. Avoid editor conflicts, won't break you. Okay, thanks. So, start making these changes. Okay. Now this. Okay, so let's go ahead and rename. I'll make a backup after everything is done, after I've added everything in. So now this actually have more pages, but it doesn't, it's not more extra work except for this little tiny bit of upfront work. So that should be okay. So here I'm just going to go ahead and underscore C that rename. We're going to underscore that with a C. Okay. Control C. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and rename this. We're going to do the same thing here. That. Then we're going to go ahead and okay, the twin brothers, right? Okay. Wait a minute, escape. I think I can do here. I think I can do it this ways. I can rename. And what we're going to do is we're going to find in the file name, we're just going to find the dash. Okay. Replace the dash with underscore C dash. Like that. And that way all of these will be together like they're supposed to be. Rename. And I need to do that with this one too. Here, let's just go ahead and close that. Name, we're gonna, okay, so we're actually just gonna rename these directly. So, underscore T like that, and rename underscore T like that. Now, as you can see, chapters up above And just because C and T, now it wouldn't matter if it was the other way around. If it was after all the T's, it just means that now I have the groupings, uh, the actual groupings. Now, it's not going to matter that any of these are out of complete order because they're not going to be in any kind of order in the game itself. So, okay, a perfect candidate. If it goes for help, the silver ticket. Okay. That being said, uh, let's just okay. So let's just go ahead and huh. Okay. I'll do this. I'll also do this another way. Let's go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna edit these. Well, actually, I might have to edit all of them, huh? Uh, let's go into here. Okay, so let's do one thing first. Let's go ahead here. And we're gonna do a rename. We're gonna find the oh those. That's not what we're gonna do. Just a second. Just a second. A perfect candidate. Keep it goes for help. Okay. Can I do a control V? Why is that's weird. Okay. Control C. Rename. Control V. The C chapter titles and rename. Control V. Remove that. Okay, here it goes for help. Okay. Then let's do copy, paste, rename, a perfect, no, wait, control Z, escape, maybe I don't need the copy. Here it goes for help, see, a perfect candidate, the silver ticket. Here it goes for help. Delete, yes. Hubert goes for help. Okay, so we're gonna just rename these here, underscore T, and we're gonna rename this one, underscore T, underscore T dash that. Okay, and then to the twin brothers now, and then all we do here is we replace these, rename these, and we find underscore A, dash, replace it with underscore C dash. Rename. Okay. So now these should line up with these. C main, C preface, C Hubert, TA, TT, C main, C preface, C Hubert, TA, TT, CT, and also CT. Okay. That's perfect. I can leave those like that because those are the actual names. These are the only ones. And then we are going to we're going to modify. Oh, it's already one. So I guess I'm going to continue this on part 2. So I guess I'll see you in about an hour. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you in about an hour. Thanks, everyone. Thank you for watching part 2.